There's the sign. This is
Oh,
the
so,
sign.
yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling nervous already. I'm like, oh shit, it's recording.
Yeah. Pressure on.
Yeah. So, I didn't show the thing. What I won't say, because what if the person watches? What if my girlfriend watches the video? So I'm like, that's why I showed it before
Oh,
the live. Yeah.
okay. Okay,
So we'll
yeah,
say
got
it
you.
later on.
Got you.
Actually, how did you meet Asim?
Oh, you know
How
what's
did
funny? This is the funniest story because you know how VK was telling like you need to practice meditation, all that stuff.
yeah, I actually did.
Sweet. And
Yeah,
and
I went in my backyard in a tent for 5 days straight.
oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Man, that's awesome.
Did you?
Well, I started meditation thanks to VK actually, because I remember like 6 years ago, I've seen his first videos. This is where I also got into sort of these dating thing and all that stuff. But he had a video like, if you really want to go into self development and all that stuff, you need to try a 10-day Vipassana
Mm.
meditation. And I was like, man, I really want to try it, but I never sort of had 10 days to spare for a meditation thing, or I was getting too late for the inscription, or I just forgot about it. And finally, when I managed to go to that meditation camp 3 years later, this is where I met Asim. Like we were at this meditation camp in Poland, in the middle of Poland, like literally in the middle of nowhere.
Do you live
And
in Poland, or
yeah,
did you fly out to go to Poland?
no, I live in Poland. I'm
Okay,
Polish, like half
okay.
Polish, half French. But yeah, I live in Poland, so I went to this Polish meditation camp, and there were like, I don't know if you've ever been to a Vipassana camp.
No.
Okay, so basically, usually you have like half of the people are hippies and weird people, and half of the people are really cool people. And I didn't know that at the time, but you kind of know who you vibe with and who you're not vibing with. And we had like I started talking with some people, and it was Asim, and we started having a super fun conversation about random shit, Because at the Vipassana camp, you don't talk for 9 days, and then on the 10th day, you can talk to other people. And we were talking about random shit all the time, and people saw that it was much fun, and they just joined. And actually, after 10 minutes of the conversation, we had to go to another meditation. And I told him, "Hey, by the way, what are you doing after the meditation camp?" He was like, "I don't know. I'll probably go travel somewhere." And I'm like, "You want to come to Wrocław, or the city where I live?" He was like, "Yeah, why not?" And no, we knew each other for 10 minutes, and then the
Nice.
day later he came to Wrocław. And the plan was that he was staying for, I don't know, a few hours, going to Krakow and moving on. But we had such a good conversation that we were talking until, I think it was until 5 in the morning in my kitchen, and we spent 3 days together, and then finally he moved on,
A
and
little
that's how we
romance
met.
happening.
Yeah, the bromance, and that's how it happened. And yeah, a year later we met once again, had a crazy adventure. Went to, yeah, and that's how we basically met with the sim. So it's funny because when he asked me after the meditation camp, when we were driving to Wrocław, he told me like, "Oh, by the way, how did you find out about Vipassana?" I'm like, uh, you know, there was a guy on YouTube that was saying that you should try a Vipassana camp, and he was like, "What's the name of that guy?" I'm like, "Valentino Cohen." He was like,
Ah,
"I know this guy." I'm like, "You know this guy? Like, you watched his video?" And he was like, "No, I know him personally." I'm like, "How the fuck do you know
oh
him?"
my
And he
god.
told me like, I did his project. That's why I'm at the Vipassana camp. It's my second and third one." And I'm like, "Holy fuck!" The world is so small. So we actually went to the Vipassana thanks to the same sort of reason. That's how we met.
That's wild. Oh, I can hear myself in your video. Like I'm hearing my voice through your speakers.
Oh, sorry. It's better now.
3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's fine now.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
wild. I was actually signing up for a Vipassana, and crazy enough, there's only one Vipassana area in Ireland, and it's like 40-minute drive from here, or 30 or 40. It's not too far.
Really?
Um, And I was looking into it. Yeah, you can only talk on the 10th day, so you come back to reality. And I got this little stool for it. So like,
Yeah.
you can, like, sit down, or kneel. I know
Yeah.
you're not allowed, but like still, kind of are, but kind of not. And so
Yeah.
because sitting on your knees for like 10 days doesn't sound too good.
Oh,
And
dude, whatever position you choose, it won't be comfortable. Like that, there is like this is also part of the process because you learn. I know it sounds masochistic and it sounds weird, but you learn to control yourself through accepting pain, sort of. So very often for the first days, like you avoid pain. You're like, oh fuck, it hurts, and you move. But as soon as you're like, okay, it hurts, this is when you really, really start to feel a huge difference. And yeah, so
I avoided
just
it.
like a little caution, like no matter what you choose, you won't be comfortable for 10
I was
days.
always rotating between that stool and my knees, stool and knees. And then I was like, how about I lay down? And I just fell asleep. It's like, okay, no laying down. It can't happen. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's
but
basically it.
the thing I got from it was whenever I would think about a cringy memory, some words, something came into my mind as like, it's okay to be human. I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. Like, everyone's human, everyone makes mistakes. And I got that phrase in my mind after that. And afterwards, I just started talking to my parents a bit more. And I was like, oh, that's a new thing. That's much appreciated. Because like I didn't tell them like my travels through Belgium. I don't know why, because I was dating a lot of women, meeting a lot of women, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't tell that part. But I just opened up and talked to them more than I ever did about that holiday. So some things did change, but it was only 5 days, so that's it. Wasn't like a 10-day full deep on.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, 5 days of meditation in the where you
It was in my
meditate?
backyard in a tent.
Oh, and then literally, sweet.
Yeah.
Man, how many hours a day were you meditating?
I started. I basically did the Vipassana times, and
Oh,
there's like
really?
certain times you eat, certain times you go to the bathroom, and like when you wake up is when you have to go to sleep. So I did that. I forget what it was. I remember I was waking up at 4 a.m. and it was
Yep.
summer because the sun was rising. But because it was summer and my tent was black, the heat in that tent was ridiculous. So I didn't stop at day 5 because I didn't feel like going on. Well, that is true. But also, it was just ridiculously hot. It was 30 degrees, like surprisingly 30 degrees outside. And I was in a black small tent. So I was like, yeah, I know, I'm stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to try it at Vipassana. Then if
10 days.
you did this shit, then I think you're definitely ready for a Vipassana.
Yeah. And I heard the no talking rule. I know 2 women that did it, but they got kicked out because they were talking. So I was like, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
So
really fun because when you talk for the first time after 10 days, you feel that excitement inside of you. It's like, we can finally talk. You know what I mean? It's like literally a kid receiving a gift for Christmas. So that was fun.
By the way, what brought you to the idea of moving past techniques and strategies, like moving past VK's guidance to what you're doing right now? What was that thing for you? What was like, doesn't feel right for me?
Yeah, okay. So when I was 18, I was sort of introduced into the whole pickup artist and dating advice sort of world. Uh, and I found VK in that world. And so I've been trying for the past, what, 5, 6 years, more or less? 5 years. No, 5 years. I've been doing all that kind of stuff, learning and sort of implementing stuff, what you learn, techniques, and what to say, what not to say. And it can get you so far, Like, in the beginning, you're shit, because, yeah, you're just 18 and you don't know shit about what you are, what life is coming to be, and all that stuff. Because I just finished high school at the time. I'm not saying that I know what life is because I'm only 23, but I know already much more after 5 years than when I was finishing high school. And so the beginning, you're like, okay, cool. I've got sort of a plan on how to get better with girls, and you improve, and then I think like there is a wall where you cannot improve anymore because technique will get you so far. And the thing is that of these 5 years, the more I learned, the more I sort of understood. I wasn't feeling any happier with that. I wasn't feeling any more fulfilled. Like you meet girls, you hook up with them, you, but it's not satisfying. It's just treating another human like as an object to your kind of silly goal. You know what I mean? And I never felt that sensation of my friends telling me, "Oh man, I just found a girl. I fell in love with her. We're having such a good time." And I never felt that thing. I was like, very deep inside of me, I know that I was jealous that I cannot feel it anymore. But on the surface, I was telling myself, "Oh, because they do not understand game. They do not understand what's happening." And so that's the thing. And a year ago, I was like, how about I drop all this bullshit? And it was thanks to Asim. A year ago.
Oh, okay.
That's when we went with Asim to Barcelona for a month. And I had to live with him for a month. And he's a super wise guy. And I realized how much bullshit there was in all we were learning. And we were actually doing the VK course at the very same time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. And I started going to the VK calls with sort of a skeptical mindset, And when you've got that mindset, you kind of pick what you want and you reject the other part you want. And there are some useful stuff that I learned, like psychology and why people do things, like what people are driven by. But at the same time, you see all the bullshit that's around it. And I don't know, I just decided to reject it. And I go out of dating for a very long time. Like this year, I didn't date much because I just felt like focusing on something else. I think it was the best decision because right now I'm meeting a girl for a month already, and I've never felt this happy before with a girl. And
nice.
It's just like this pickup stuff is so destructive. It's crazy.
Right.
How about you?
I think a huge thanks to Jordan Peterson. I watched, like, I'm his biggest fan. Not his biggest fan, but I'm such a big. I have his photo. Like, I have a photo of his face on my wall. I have both of his books, and I'm not a fanatic, but like the guy moved my life. Like when he said, clean your room and whatever, and I did. I was like, holy shit, I felt so much better. And then like after that, I just kept on moving up in life. And he was talking about the polyamory and its detriments, and it never works in societies whenever it's implemented. Societies tend to crumble when polyamory is the main mating way instead of monogamy. So you can see polyamory in a few favelas in Brazil, in some societies in Africa. But what happens is the men become extremely violent and possessive because they want all the women for themselves, and they have to flee away all the men that are doing the same thing and trying to get all the women for themselves too. And families don't exist. It's just two people have sex and then babies come out, and then they move along. There's no unity in family, and it's psychopathic. So when I heard psychopathic, I was like, is it really? And I was doubting that word because it's a strong word for me. I was like, is it really psychopathic to date a girl, and just have sex with a bunch of girls? But like, I know I'm using them in some way, so I was trying to hide away from that fact that it can be psychopathic. And then I was listening to Brett Weinstein talk about the power of monogamy, the power of meeting a person and then forgetting all the rules about love and how you're supposed to date a person, and just
being with that person.
Yeah, being with them and making it happen. And the strength in that is you can't put it into words, and it's hard to describe. So, and when he was telling that, and he was talking quite like he was, the passion with how he was talking about it was like inspiring, and I was like, damn, I'd like to have like a life partner that I can tie my life string with someone else's and make a rope. So I was like, oh, that sounds pretty good. I like that. And then maybe there was another person talking about monogamy and the power of it. And then I was like, well, I don't know if I ever felt love. I don't think I ever felt love in a relationship. So with the VK method, I got one girlfriend and that's it. Like I had to go through so many people, and it was the moment when I was just chilling, just joking around, just like I stopped using the method as much, and then like things just happened and everything just worked out. And I was like, wow, that was crazy. But I didn't think about it. And then like a few years passed, or a year or something passed, and then I was in the same situation. Okay, I have to get a girlfriend, or I feel horny and I want to meet more people. And I was hitting the same block. Like I can't, like I'm not getting good results. Like I don't know what's happening. I'm going on dates, but I'm not getting results. I'm not sleeping with them. First, because I don't have a place to sleep with them because like I live with my parents. Secondly, it just didn't feel right. And thankfully, I took a trip to Brazil, and there I dropped all of the techniques, and I had a room to stay in, and I had a lot of results. So, actually, before we get to Brazil, I was in Portugal for a while. Many a times I've been in girls' houses and never slept with them. I was too shy to kiss a girl, too shy to have sex, and nothing would happen. And at this time, it happened again in Portugal, and I was like, yeah, no, fuck this. So I was noticing what I'm doing wrong, that I'm too afraid to touch a girl, too afraid to hug a girl, too afraid of whatever. And then I met another girl, hugged, kissed on her cheek and whatever. I was like, oh shit, this is okay, baby stepping it. Okay, I'm pushing my boundaries. And then on the plane from France to Brazil, some girl sat next to me that seemed kind of cute. So, push comes to shove, I kiss her and then finger her and she whacks me off. And I was like, okay, well, that's crazy. I've never experienced, that type of life.
Yeah.
And then I was pushing my boundaries. And in Brazil, I finally had sex with multiple people. So I was just pushing that boundary. And I wasn't using technique. I was just leaning towards where I was uncomfortable and where I didn't know, like, I was not... So I wasn't comfortable with touching girls, so I did it. I wasn't comfortable with kissing girls, so I did it. But I wasn't using techniques. And then afterwards, I saw Jordan Peterson, Brett Weinstein, and whatnot talk about monogamy, and then I was like, great, I learned general attractiveness, and yet I don't have that authenticity. So what if I go for authenticity? And then I was walking around Dublin, and I saw a girl in the park reading a book with a summery dress, looked amazing, and I was like, let's just have a conversation with her. And I asked her about books because I read a lot, but I don't enjoy reading. So I asked, like, how do you enjoy reading? And she just opened up. It was great. And I was actively trying to say as much, everything that I feel in the moment, as truthful as possible. And it felt amazing. It felt great. I wasn't like, okay, what am I going to do next? Okay, she's going to say that. Okay, how about let's go to this place? I wasn't doing any of that planning. I was moving it a bit forward. Like, how about let's grab some coffee? But I wasn't like, seed idea, all that shit. So, and it felt amazing. And then
it just feels organic, doesn't it?
Feels great. And then we had our first kiss on the third date. So like, unrecommended, no, first date you have to kiss. No. Third date, we like played chess. On the second date, we played chess in the park. On the third date, we had some beers and went back to her place, cooked some food, watched a movie, and then it happened. So it was amazing, and it flowed. It was great, and I felt like, wow, that was like, I never felt that. That was not in my realm of reality. So after that, I was like, maybe that Jordan Peterson guy was right about something. And ever since then, I was just telling the truth as much as possible and working to build our relationship stronger, and that's how it happened.
Yeah, this is very interesting. Like,
so it was general attractiveness, learning learning how to be with a woman, and then authenticity. I think if you would only have authenticity, you would have everyone, just guys that don't know how to communicate with girls, but like have good intentions. Well, I think I needed that. I needed to lean into being comfortable with hugging someone, kissing someone, knowing how to do it at least, and then just being myself.
Yeah, maybe you're right actually on that one. But I wonder if you really have to go that far to become comfortable with. Because okay, when I started, I was really uncomfortable in social interactions, and through learning game, I really learned it really learned social interactions and how to talk to people and all that stuff. And with this also came like I learned how to sort of behave with women. And now obviously it's useful when this authenticity layers comes on. But I'm wondering if you really do need to go through those steps of dating multiple women to learn the basics and then to find a girl.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Because, for example,
if not that, how? Oh yes, for example, sorry.
Yeah, like just look at Jordan Peterson. Like his wife, he met her when he was like what 16, 15 or what time?
Yeah, they grew up in the same village.
Yeah, exactly. They grew up in the same village. Like, did they have any sort of social interaction knowledge that made them sort of,
True.
connect? Like, when you're a 16 or when you're a teenager, you have absolutely no clue of what the social interaction is, or you're one of the 1% that really, is popular and all that stuff.
You're right.
I don't believe like you need to learn that to find a lifetime partner. And I absolutely love Jordan Peterson. And today I think he's one of the most eloquent people I've ever listened to. And, he just found it through another sort of route. Like you don't have this one route. You date a lot of women, put authenticity, and then find the love of your life. I think there's so many different ways to find the same goal, sort of.
I agree with you. Like everyone else that didn't learn game, like people are populating anyway,
Yeah.
So they didn't learn game. What's the story? I get what you mean. I guess the whole story is about meeting someone that you actually connect with.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't need to learn game, like or lean into things that you're uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
To then find that part. I see.
You know what was the most useful skill I ever learned about social interactions? The most useful thing I learned, and I think that everyone would benefit of, is to learn how to listen. And it's not how to talk. It's not how to have conversation, how to do small talk and all that stuff. It's really how to listen, because when you really listen to people, they start to talk. And then you can sort of come into an interaction with someone, go into a conversation. Because when you have two people wanting to say what they have to say, it's not a conversation. It's just one people talking over another person. But learning that there is one book, I've read the like 20%. I don't know why I haven't read the whole book, but the 20% really changed my perspective of conversation. I need to.
Is that How to Win Friends and Influence People?
That one I read it, and I never really clicked with it because it still feels manipulative. It's not.
It is. It absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is manipulative. Yeah. And okay, let me just.
Sure, man.
Here I've got my little Kindle. I absolutely love that guy. Okay, the book name.
Kindle looks so strange. It looks real. Like a screen doesn't look real, but Kindle looks real. I can't explain it. I've seen a Kindle once in my life, and I was like, "Whoa, that's wild!" Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, you know what's the best part? You can literally put it in your pocket. Like I take it with me all the time. Like wherever I go, I take my Kindle. And it's just amazing because you can never, and I've got like 40 books on that stuff, so you can read whatever you want, wherever you want. And yeah, I just love the Kindle. You have to get used to it if you really like paper. But yeah, okay. So the book, where is it? Oh, How to Listen with Intention by Patrick King. I literally read 20% of it, but How to Listen with Intention, Patrick King. But he really came to sort of listening through an authentic kind of way. He wasn't like, try to do this and then say this and that. It's like really listen to someone. And how to read people and influence. What was the name of the
How
book?
to win friends and influence people.
Yeah, how to win
Dale
friends and
Carnegie.
influence people. Can you really win friends if you want to influence them? If you want to
No, I
manipulate
think you can get them hooked.
Yeah.
But because like the whole analogy was, you're a fisherman, you want fish, but the fish like worms. You give them worms, you get the fish. You wouldn't put a cake on it because you like cake. You place a worm. So that I think you hook them instead of you. You don't make friends. Maybe win friends is right. Hook or win. Yeah,
Yeah, but I
not,
never felt like you can really win friends. Like,
it was
or you
absolutely
click with someone or
manipulation.
you don't. Like,
I
what?
knew reading that book was absolutely manipulation. I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I used it. I use that sometimes. Because if it works, why not use it? But then, yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
see what you mean.
it's still not authentic. You try to be someone you're not by manipulating other people and by learning techniques. This is the big
I think
problem
it
with
works
all
in
this.
sales, maybe. Maybe if you want to make your sales better, just read that book. I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
read that
okay,
book
but then the book should
22
be like
times, didn't you?
how to get more sales and not how to win friends and influence people. Like, this is not how you get friends.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I heard something on your point of listening. Someone I forget who said, but they said that there's a difference between passive listening and active listening.
Mm.
Passive listening is you finish your sentence, okay, so now I can talk about my stuff. Or and active listening is you say something about basketball, and then I'll mention something about basketball. So I go into your
Yeah,
story, and that's active listening.
yeah.
And
Also,
I thought about that for a while.
yeah. Also, you know if you're a passive or an active listener when you talk with someone and you're already thinking about what you're going to say next. You're a passive listener. Like, if there is like, if right now you're like, I have a story that relates to it. I will tell it afterwards. Then you're not really listening. When you're really listening, you're not thinking about anything else
Right, I'm
than.
being a bit of a passive listener right now. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's really funny. It's really related, I think, to a meditative state. Like, you really listen, because your brain automatically wants to think about other stuff. But as soon as you manage to get rid of this, not only the conversation flows supernaturally, the second thing, like the fear you have is like, what if I don't have anything to say after the person finishes? You always will find something to say because you really listened. So I'd say that that's a little challenge for every conversation you might have, is to really listen and try not to think about an answer you might come up with. You know?
Yeah, I like silence doesn't bother me too much. So I noticed that if I'm talking to someone, I like to talk to people on chat roulette and whatever, just chat all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't know what to say, and I just sit there in silence. And I'm so thankful when other people can also sit in silence and just until a new idea conjures up and we can talk about something else. But like that's I don't know, to me, I enjoy that so much. Just like that the conversation ends and then we just sit and then
Yeah.
we start talking about something else. I like
All
that.
right. Cool. But
Yeah.
do you also have that feeling that whenever you feel uncomfortable when there is silence, it's not something you really click with? It's not someone that you really feel connected to? Like, because I feel like very often when I'm in silence with friends, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, okay, it's just silence. Or
Yeah.
if there is silence with something that with someone that I like, cool, it's just silence. But when it's silence with someone that I'm not feeling comfortable with or I don't really like, then it feels awkward. You know?
And I would also add to that with someone that you're trying to seduce, it's really hard to keep quiet. At least for me. Like if
Yeah,
like
I
back in the
got you.
day I noticed that If a person is like hotter or something, I'm like, oh, next thing. I can't. The silence is so much. I think VK helped me, stretch that time, and then later that morphed into being okay with silence. But yeah, I like that.
But doesn't that want of saying something in the silence comes from a deep insecurity?
Yeah, you're uncomfortable with tension. Oh, that's how it seems.
I don't know. I thought more like, okay, like just like when you mentioned this, like being with a woman that's really attractive, and you just need to say something. Maybe it just comes from an insecurity, like, fuck, I'm not at her level. I'm not worth her. So then silence is super uncomfortable for you, because
Yeah,
then you have
I
to
want to win her over, so
thoughts. What?
I want to win her over, so I can't have her bored. I can't have her whatever. So I have to
Yeah,
keep talking.
yeah. I think it comes from that place.
Probably
Yeah.
does.
Also, when you meet someone really successful, I realize that I don't know now. I don't. I don't feel like I behave that way anymore. But when I was a bit younger, and I mean like a year ago or something, when I was meeting someone really successful, I had that sort of internal feeling like I'm not enough. You know what I mean? Of that shit. I want to say something, ask something, all that stuff. I mean, I think I still would feel it with like very, very successful people. But now if I meet someone that's, successful, it's like, cool. You can just have a normal conversation and they really also appreciate it. You don't have that internal feeling of like, fuck, I'm not enough.
I felt that with Harvey when I had the call with Harvey and applying
Mm-hmm.
to the VK thing. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I'm talking to Harvey, the guy I was looking at YouTube videos. This guy
Yeah.
is beast. I was like, oh my God. And then after the call, I was just happy. I was just like, oh my God, I talked to Harvey. But then on the VK calls, I didn't feel that the same. I don't know why. And maybe in the first few days, but then during the VK calls, I was like, oh, this is just a guy. It's just
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or when I
Yeah.
was in
It's true.
Brazil, I was living with dating coaches and working for them and working with them and meeting people. And the first few days of being with multiple dating coaches, I was like, oh my God. Like the very first day, nothing happened because there was a bit of a lockdown when I entered. So there's not a lot of people, not a lot of girls to meet, and it was quiet. But I was so happy being around all these guys at a single table, and they're talking about their businesses. Some guy had like 100 million in cryptocurrency. Some guy fucking, crazy
Yeah.
wild stories. And I was like so happy just being around these guys. But then a month in, and they were just guys I go out meeting girls with. So I don't
Yeah.
know. For me, it was
That's the cool
time.
part.
Time took away that facade, took away that magic.
Yeah. And this is the thing that I believe is that if you were really sort of uncomfortable and being like the tension, you could really feel tension inside of you. Like, would they really accept you and would go out with you afterwards, sort of? Or would you just be, oh, okay, this guy is just for one evening meeting and then they would never see you again? You know what I mean?
So if a guy is feeling tension while being with you, would you want to see them again?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it
I wouldn't
depends.
be inclined to. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to meet that guy again. It would feel a bit weird. I
Yeah.
think, doing live streams on this app called Ablo, just some small app, you tend to get people writing, texting you, oh my God, you have beautiful eyes. Can you be my friend and whatever. I don't
Mm,
answer their questions, but people
yeah.
that start messaging me with like actual questions with actual like cool things, I obviously message them back. So
Yeah.
I guess those people are saying the lovely stuff are seeking something, and those people just
Mm.
chatting are just there to have a good time. So I don't know if it's similar, maybe it's not, but I don't know. I thought
Yeah,
it.
I think it's very similar. Like, some people just want something from you, and some people are just around having a good time.
I like that around having a good time. I'm having a good time live streaming. Like making the video, I'm like, oh, but like talking to people feels much more natural. I hate like having the camera, the microphone, and on a tripod, just like look at the
Yeah,
camera. Oh, did I say it right? I have to delete it, you know. But like
yeah,
these types of chats, they're amazing.
yeah. I feel you, dude. Let me just sit a bit differently.
By the way, if I'll go back to the dating stuff,
Yeah, of course.
once there was this guy called Dr. K. He's a psychologist. He's a therapist. He's a gamer. He likes playing games, and he helps gamers live a bit better with the. He went to India and he was learning um, their old traditional ways, and he was learning from what are they called, yogis. So they're like the
Mm,
monks of India, and he mentioned dating, and he mentioned if you were taking these dating advices from like multiple guys and whatever, and you're putting on a social mask, like, oh, I'm this macho guy, the more successful that mask becomes, the lonelier you feel because you feel like you
mm,
weren't enough. So you have to place something that you're not on your face. And if that becomes successful, that just that just proves the point that you weren't enough in the first place, and that makes you feel worse.
mm.
So I was like, oh shit, fuck, okay. So maybe
Yeah.
the dating life doesn't really suit everyone. And then that made me think deeper that well, there's multiple different dating coaches. There's like hundreds of them, and there's a few that are pretty successful. If they're not teaching the same thing, why are they successful? And is it great to listen to them? So
Mm,
VK is a bit more, well, was a bit more emotional. I don't know. To me, he seemed a bit more emotional. Todd Valentine seemed more analytical and practical. He was more what to say in which situation. I was thinking, well, you're taking on this person's personality while you're learning from them because they polish their personality to perfection. And you can see, oh my God, they're getting results. So I should take this
mm,
personality on me. I'm going to be this analytical perfectionist. But what if you're not? What if you're more emotional and you're learning from Todd Valentine? And then you're doing the
mm,
things that would seem to get results, but you're not getting results. And he is. So you're probably doing it wrong. You have to keep on practicing, practicing. But
mm.
I was thinking, like, what if you're taking on their personality and you have merely just some advice, but they have a lifelong like experience of their own personality and they polish it up a bit to make it more attractive to others. So instead of choosing any dating coach that has results, choosing the dating coach that vibes with you the best, that you feel that you can connect with, and then taking that person's advice because that person's personality is closer to yours than anyone else's.
Mm.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, of course I do. The thing I'm wondering about, uh, yeah, it's very true that you have different kind of different dating coaches. The thing I wonder about is, are they all as successful as they portray themselves to be?
I don't know.
Because okay, I know that VK, like Valentino Cohen, was really. I've heard it from people that have seen him live, and they all said like, "I've never seen a dude like that having so much success with girls." So with him, okay, I believe it, and I always sort of
Oh,
like
so he
believe
was successful or he wasn't? I didn't
he
get.
was.
He was.
But I've also heard from guys doing the projects with VK that they met the RSD guys in front of the club, like all these RSD Luke or whatever, RSD.
Yeah, yeah,
And actually, I think it's Asim that told me that. He said like he's never seen someone so miserable in front of a club, like emotionally destroyed. And he was like, "This is where RSD gets you." And okay, they can portray whatever they want in a YouTube video. Like they can make 1,000 approaches, and one is half successful for 20 seconds, and then you put this in the video and you're like, I've got so much success with girls. I've actually met one guy once that was doing the RSD stuff. We were literally in the city center. He was stopping every single girl that was coming, and he was stopping a girl every 5 seconds. He was getting rejected, 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 and maybe like the 60th girl was like into him, and he was pushing it super fast, super far. like hugging her, almost kissing her in half a minute, and you're like, this is so weird, creepy. The girl obviously enjoyed it, but like one of 60 girls, he had like 60 before him rejected him, looking at him like a fucking weirdo, a creep. Then I met him another time randomly in a restaurant, and he also approached the girl, and she rejected him, and he said like, oh, apparently I've approached her already 2 times and she remembers me, so this city is becoming small for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck can you approach literally every single girl in a city that they recognize you because you've approached them a year ago and also like a year and a half ago? This is pathetic. And I think this is what RSD is doing. They're approaching hundreds of girls, have very, very mediocre success, if you can call whatever they do success. And then they put it in the video for the 20 seconds that look good. I think this is a big thing.
Oh, sorry. That was exactly what the dating coaches and I were doing in Brazil. But I never thought of it. Like, it didn't feel... I was thinking to myself, like, how else would you meet someone then? How else would you meet a person that you can connect with if you don't meet a lot of people?
How about just do whatever you do in your daily life and one day or another you'll just meet someone?
Yeah. Or maybe Mark Manson's advice. Yeah, it would be similar to yours, which is Mark Manson. He wrote the book Models. He was talking about explore your interests, and exploring your interests, you'll meet more people. So like if your interest is music or jazz and you go to a jazz concert or whatever, I don't know what, do they have concerts or I don't know.
Yeah,
And you would meet people that have similar values to you, and maybe those types of people would love you for who you are instead of for what you say and how you act.
Yeah.
So meeting people of similar kind, I guess that is the way forward, instead of meeting everyone on the beach like I did and all the dating coaches I was around.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Imagine you love jazz, you go to a jazz concert, you hang around cool people, and you meet people that you share your hobby with, and there happens to be a girl that also enjoys it, and you click with her. It's all natural, and that's actually, I really regret that Asim is not here.
Sorry, what you say?
I really regret that Asim is not here, because literally a year ago he told me, all this VK stuff and all these pickup thing. He said like he told me, what did he tell me exactly? I've got it written somewhere, but in short, it's something like, I know I'll not
After you
find
said it.
What?
You wrote it down after you said it. You're like, oh my god, I have to write this down.
Oh, I've got a whole list of the smart thing he said actually. So it's pretty. Oh, did he answer me? Oh, he just answered me on Instagram like, oops, I forgot the time. So maybe he'll come.
He could join.
Okay.
If you have the time, I totally have the time.
Yeah.
I'm free today.
I'll just text him. I'll just text him that he can join if he wants. I'll just text him. Oh, that would be cool if he said it, because he's got the whole story behind it.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, whatever. But what he told me a year ago was that he's not going to find a dream girl in a random spot trying to talk to every single girl. Like, he's probably going to find his dream girl just because she was sitting next to him in the airplane and flying somewhere, and it just happens that she's next to you, and you start talking, and then you find out that you really have much in common. And it's exactly what happened to him this month.
Wow,
like
really?
A year
This
later.
month?
Yeah, it wasn't like in the seat in the next seat in the airplane, but it was like in a hostel. Like, it's a funny story. Like, he needs to tell it, but
yeah, I'll wait until he tells it. You
It's
actually
literally
remind
how
me.
he said. You do absolutely nothing. It just comes to you automatically, like sooner or later.
I guess that VK advice is opposite to what the general advice is. Like everyone tells me this. Like when I talk about I like to give dating advice because I learned so much. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna give it. And you know, people say the old truth of when you're not looking for it, you'll find it. And then I always say back, you know, like a dog, oh, but like if you are eating Cheetos at home, not doing anything, how do you expect to find someone?
Mm.
Like, is it because I'm indoctrinated with VK
Yeah.
advice? So I always say it back. But hearing that story blows it out of the water, of course, because it worked for him. And I just remember the story when I was in Belgium. I was taking a train to another city, and the girl was watching this TV series called Suits. It's
Mm.
about lawyers and stuff,
Yeah.
and on her phone. And I just mentioned like what does she think about Harvey or Harley? Harvey, I think Harvey. Um, and she took out her earphones, and then we started talking about the TV series, and we just I don't know, we vibed so well. And her mother came over, and I didn't understand the language, but I couldn't understand she wanted to go because we're in a train station. Probably her trainer is leaving, or just arrived, and she like shooed her mother away for like 2 seconds, and then we kept on chatting and chatting, and then after a while, her mother was like doing a signal of like fishing her out, and they're like 2 more seconds, 2 more seconds, and like that just happened because I just chatted to a girl next to me, and it felt so cool. But like I was going to a different city, she was going to a different city. Like it would be a crazy story that I came with her or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait. If Asim has a story like that, that would be lovely.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll come. Maybe he's completely somewhere not connected to the internet. Yeah. Whatever. But yeah, what you said is like, how will you meet someone if they eat Cheetos at home and not leave
Yeah,
home?
if they do everything that they're doing right now and they don't have a girlfriend, why do they expect to have a girlfriend
Yeah,
and
but it
do the same shit?
assumes two huge things. First, it assumes that you never leave your home. Literally never. You don't go do groceries because you do them online. You never see anyone because you're always at home. So this is the first assumption, which is quite probably far from true.
Mm.
The second assumption assumes that you have a boring life. Because indeed, maybe if you're sitting at home playing video games, and okay, depends, because you have also gamers that are extremely successful playing video games, and they can be portrayed as high in social hierarchy. But yeah, imagine like the typical loser, like at home, fat, and, eating Cheetos and all that stuff. Is the problem not going out and meeting girls, or is the problem much deeper than not going out and meeting girls?
Yeah, I
I
get what
think
you
that
mean.
if you have a life, and if there is even one interesting thing in your life, there is a huge probability that you will meet someone you click with just because you have something cool happening.
I totally agree.
So
Thanks that you told me this, because now I
hmm?
have a counter argument to it. Because the argument I was indoctrinated with was like it's insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But now you're saying, well, of course not. So you're of course like leaving your house. And also Mark Manson, what's your point? Mark Manson would also agree because he would part of his book. I haven't read it, but I always read summaries of books, and he says have a attractive lifestyle.
Yeah.
That like if your lifestyle consists of like working 60 hours a week and whatever, and the person can't connect with you as much as they wish to, maybe that's an hindrance. But an attractive lifestyle to him would be having time and having fun, having time like actually I think I wrote it down because I thought it was pretty cool. Let me just check. I have a word actually. Speaking about this, I was making a Word document, a list of everything that worked for me, and I tried to remove as much technique as possible, and just make it as authentic and and tailored as possible. And I'm working with Hamza to get him a girlfriend right now. So
Hmm.
this is I don't know if I can send it to you right now.
Yeah, that
I
would be
can.
cool.
I can. 1 second.
If I
Where is
can
it?
just, until I forget, you said like you need to have time in order to meet someone, and if you work 60 hours a week, then you probably
Then,
won't meet someone.
yeah. So
Yeah, can I just add one comment to that? I've actually talked to Jake 2 days ago, and Jake appeared on the VK call just
who's
once for
Jake?
like 20 seconds. He's like a common friend. Asim introduced me to Jake. Jake did the project with VK 2 years ago, and that's how they met. And Jake is an awesome guy, and he was really into dating stuff, also like picking up at the beach and all that stuff. And he gave it up a few months ago, and the reason was he told me, "Oh, I wish he was here too." He told me like the reason he gave up dating was because 40% of his time was focused on dating. Even if he was not doing it personally, he was thinking about it. He was thinking about like how to get girls and all that stuff. And 60% of it was dedicated to what he really loves doing, which is doing music, because he's a music producer. And long story short, he gave up dating and focused 100% on what he loves doing, which is producing music. And now he finally is in the United States, where he wanted to be for years. Like he told me, like it's his dream became like 10 years ago to be a music producer in Hollywood. Finally, he's in the United States, and he's looking. He'll move to Hollywood very soon because he found an apartment there, and he finally lives this dream. And he told me like, whenever I thought about who I want to be in Hollywood, do I want to be the pickup guy or do I want to be the music producer? And even if you work 100 hours a week and you don't have any life part of your work and all that stuff, and you happen to go out like once a month, there is still a high probability that you might find someone just because you went to a gig like related to music, and then you find other people that do music, and then you click with someone randomly somewhere without trying to make it happen. So this is the big thing. I think the biggest thing is just being patient and not really wanting to make it happen, because sooner or later it will come.
I think
And just do what
I
you
agree
do and
with that.
focus on your dream. Yeah.
I agree with that, and also like I'm someone who wants to be with my loved one all the time. I'm someone
Yeah.
who wants to spend as much time as possible, travel, do crazy stuff together. And when I don't see my partner, honestly, like I'm losing. Like when she was in Mexico, so after she left Ireland, she moved to France for like a week, and then went on a trip with her girlfriends to Mexico, and then moved back to France.
Mm.
But on her trip to Mexico, so she's not a person who texts. She doesn't use her phone, and it really bothered me that like I'm
Mm.
not receiving text for like 3 days, and then I receive a couple of messages, and I'm not receiving text, and I'm not seeing a person. I can't hug them, and that was
Mm.
losing my connection with her. I was losing that, yeah, connection. I guess that's the best word.
Mm.
And I told her this, and she flew back to. So once she entered France and did a few days of college, she flew back to see me so we can talk about this. And then we figured out that I can't do a long distance relationship. I I I need to be with the person. Instead of need, like I would lose the interest in them, or I'd lose the connection if I'm not with them. And so I finished university. I'm not working. Well, I applied for a few jobs just to get enough money, and I'm moving to France. I don't want to have a long distance relationship. So
Mm.
for me personally, I couldn't do it. If a person's like busy all the time, I can do it. When she was living in Ireland, she only had 1 day free for me. Sometimes two, sometimes three, but mostly just one. She was working 6 days a week. She was living in Dublin, and I live like a 40-minute bus ride from it. So that was enough. That was, I wish I had more, but that was enough to keep it going. But like when I didn't have any time with her, I was losing it, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it doesn't feel
Got
too
you.
good. So
Mm.
maybe it's individualistic. Maybe for some people, like what's his name? Who's that guy? Frederick. Frederick can meet his
Yeah.
girlfriend once a week, and that's totally fine for him.
But
It
I
was
think
okay. I want to
I
spend.
met him last time, and he broke up with his girl.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know, probably, but apparently it didn't click.
Right. We already talked about that too. That you're also someone who wants to see the person more than once a week. So
Me?
yeah, I thought we talked about this.
Yeah,
That
It's true. I absolutely love seeing. I mean, the girl I'm seeing right now. I absolutely love spending time with her.
how did the concert go?
What?
The whole reaction with the concert that she didn't know about.
Oh, have I called you before the concert? Oh, after
Yeah,
the concert?
yeah.
Oh,
Before.
yeah, she absolutely loved it. Like, I took her to that concert, and it was such an amazing concert. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. And she said like this was one of the best surprises she ever got because the concert was amazing. It was just like a surprise because I guess everybody would love a concert like that. So why tell her when it can be a surprise, sort of? Because this is one thing that I learned from VK that girls like surprises, so surprise them more.
Mm.
And that's what I did, and she absolutely loved it.
I don't think anyone would skip to 56 minutes because that's very specific. So yeah, I wrote this love letter as a surprise, and I know it's gonna impact her. So can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
yeah.
Um, I realized something about myself. I love giving gifts.
Mm.
I never thought about that. Like the five love languages. Have you heard of it? The five love languages? No.
No,
Okay,
never.
so
You love giving or you love getting?
giving gifts.
Giving. Okay.
So the five love languages are, oh, if I remember this correctly, physical touch, words of affirmation, uh, gift giving, quality time, and oh, I have to Google it. Five love
Oh, that's the
languages.
fifth one. I have to Google it.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. I can copy and paste it in the chat.
Acts of service.
Yeah. So it would be like helping you out if you're stuck on a college project and she comes out
Okay.
and helps you out with
Yeah,
that,
helping out
or
people.
cleaning your room or whatever. Um, I did the test to find out which I like, which I value more, and it was quality time was my number one.
Mm,
Acts of service, it doesn't happen to me often, so that's why I valued it more. And then physical touch, words of affirmation, and receiving gifts. And receiving gifts was last. But when I put it into action, when I was actually just spending time with my girlfriend and just, loving her and doing whatever, I was like always buying Oreo milkshakes, buying little sweets, buying little
yeah.
whatever, just because I liked it. So yeah, I was just doing it because I liked it. And I noticed I was treating her like this is a weird analogy, but it makes sense in my mind, like a plant. So instead of like the needy relationship that all of my relationships were basically,
Mm-hmm.
or I need you to be happy and you need me so that you're happy. I was just giving,
Yeah.
watering this plant and letting it grow.
Yeah.
And I think that was the analogy for me to understand unconditional love. That I'm just loving this plant, and whatever happens, happens. And yeah, that's how I understood it. And
Mm,
so you can accept, okay, she doesn't text as much as often. Yesterday she said sorry because a lot of things are happening right now. She's doing college projects and exams and whatever, Christmas exams and stuff. So
mm,
I was totally okay with it because I also enjoy her lovely side when she spends quality time with me and all that stuff. So like you accept the package. That's the unconditional love. Conditional love is where I love you when you give me this, when you give me X, when you give me
yeah.
Y. That's conditional. But unconditional is just love you the way you are.
Yeah.
That's something I learned with her.
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah. I was so happy, man, when I met her afterwards, like after our second date, I just called my sister and I just told her about this amazing person. Like she can fly a plane. She knows multiple languages. She's traveled the world. She hiked for weeks on end with her brother and her brother's girlfriend. Um, she skis with her family when she was young.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my god, how did I meet this type of person? And she's pretty as hell. She's taller than me, and that's like wow. So I was like, how did I find this gold mine of a person? And she was like, you infatuated sap, and she was just happy for me that I met someone amazing, and
Man,
I
that's
was
awesome.
just happy all the time.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the kind of story you want to hear from. You want to hear from friends. Like, I met
And
this amazing girl.
when we went on this trip to Powers Court, it's the third most beautiful garden in the world according to National Geographic.
Mm.
After that whole journey, after that whole trip, that whatever, afterwards I was like, for a moment, I was job averse. I didn't want to work. I was just, I don't know, I was just being a lazy little bitch,
Mm.
and I for 2 seconds I realized I'd work a shitty job just to have this happen more often, just to go on trips and adventures
Mm.
together more often, just because of this person. I'd be willing to do it, and I
Yeah.
really felt it, and I was like, oh my god, I never felt this way. And what you know, a few months later, I'm moving to a different country. I don't even speak French. I'm moving to a different country. I know the apartment I want to get. I'm going to work an online job and just live closer to this person. Who would have known?
That's epic, dude.
Yeah.
What you want to do for love?
And I know love, from reading Mark Manson, love isn't everything. So just because I love her and I'm in Ireland and she's in France, the connection would have ended. Well, I think so. And you kind of have to maybe sacrifice for it to keep it
Mm.
going. Work. I think that's one of the rules in Peterson's book. 1 second. I didn't read his new book.
Are the 12 other rules
Yeah, the Beyond Order.
beyond order?
Plan and work diligently to maintain the romance in your relationship.
Mm. I haven't read that book either yet.
Yeah, I always watch the YouTube summaries.
Mm.
I stopped reading because I don't enjoy reading. I'd rather listen. I'd rather watch a video. I never really enjoyed reading. It's not my thing.
Interesting.
And
Have you ever tried Audible?
no, I could.
You know what's funny? I tried reading Jordan Peterson's book. I've got it actually in Spanish because the first version I bought was in Spanish when I was living here in Spain. The second one, I bought it in English because I thought that it would be so much easier to read it in English. And I just couldn't read much. So I decided to buy the Audible version. And when it's Jordan Peterson reading, I just could. It was so much easier for me to go through that book listening to Jordan Peterson instead of reading it. I don't know. Some books I prefer much more listening to the author reading it, and some books I just like love reading it. But you know what's funny? I absolutely love reading, but it's something that I used to hate. I started loving reading when I started reading for fun and not
Right.
for information, because I was always reading like sort of self-development books, you know?
That's all I have. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, but have you ever tried reading a book for fun? Like, I don't know.
No. Not that I know of. Maybe once, but
I absolutely, for example, Harry Potter. I absolutely love this series. I read it for the first time, believe it or not, on February, because I just watched the movies before, and I thought like, how is the book actually in English? Because I've got the book in Polish, and I always read like 2 pages, and I was like, oh, this is boring. But then I don't know why I bought the English version, and it just got me hooked. And I read the whole series, like the whole 7 books in like 2 months. And I was like, holy fuck, this is what reading is. This is what falling in love with a book really is. And you know what's funny? I reread it this summer, like
Wow.
I read the whole series twice this year, and now I've discovered another great fantasy books, and I
Is it
just read
deeper
them
than
for fun.
the movies?
What?
Is it deeper than the movies, the books?
Oh, much deeper. Holy fuck! It goes into so much more details. Like now, I'm the type of person like, oh, have you read the books? Oh, it's so much better than the movies. But yeah,
Do
the
you have
books
the tattoo of the triangle, the circle, and the line?
Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you enjoy Harry Potter or not. I
No, I
guess so.
enjoy it. It's actually the 20-year anniversary since it began.
Yeah.
But apparently they want to kick out J.K. Rowling because of her controversial tweets on Twitter. And
What?
Daniel Radcliffe, yeah, she said like trans women aren't women and some other truths anyway. And Daniel Radcliffe and some other guys mentioned like, oh no, trans women are women and no, she's wrong and whatever. And they're not inviting her to the 20-year anniversary.
That's
But
so
he
retarded.
made 110 million from the movies, just the movies alone, not even the merchandise and whatever, just from the movies alone. He made 110 million because of that woman, and he's
Yeah,
now spitting in her face like no. So
this is so retarded.
yeah,
Like, I understand having different political views, but she's literally the author of the books, and not
yeah,
inviting her to the 20th anniversary. It's like,
yeah. I was gonna
oh,
watch the movies again because it's the 20-year anniversary. Man, I was a kid watching those movies and they were older than me. And now
try
I'm looking
reading
back
it.
and I'm like, they're kids. Oh shit, they're kids. But they were heroes for me. I was like, oh my god, fucking
Yeah,
legends. And now I'm like, oh, they were just children. It's weird looking back when I'm older.
yeah, man, try reading it because it's a short book, and you'll
Is
know
it?
in the
I thought
first
those
chapter.
books are like huge, no?
Yeah, I mean the seven one, yeah, but the first one is quite short,
Okay.
and you'll know if you get you know if you'll enjoy it very very quickly. And
Mm.
yeah, if you like Harry Potter and you wanted to watch it, I definitely recommend reading it. Like then and then try to see if you see reading as you saw it before. Because if I read self development books, it's tiring me so much faster. Because it's like my brain needs to work reading, and when you read just for the fun, it's just like watching a movie that lasts for so much longer because you have to read it. So I don't know. I learned how to enjoy books just because I started reading books that were meant to be enjoyed.
Okay, I'll buy the first book. I'll buy the first book. We'll see what happens. Yeah, because I got to the stage where I was reading a book a week. I would
Mm,
divide the book into seven and read how many pages I need to read in that day in the very beginning of the morning. And I mean, I was doing it, and then after a while, I just crashed. I was like, I'm not enjoying this. And then I have books that I haven't read for like a year now because after that crash, I just stopped. So I was
mm,
reading 10 pages a day every morning or every evening, and then that changed to a chapter a day. And then
mm.
I was like, oh, I'm getting momentum. And then I was like, okay, let's do a book a week. So I divided in seven, and then it was just too much, and it was so boring and I wasn't even absorbing all of the information. I was just reading the words, and I understood it, and I was just reading the words, and then that's it. I was like, I'm done.
Mm. No
So
time to process
I
it.
didn't enjoy it. Yeah,
Yeah, true. True.
this is the part where I don't know what to say.
This is what?
This is the part where I don't know what to say.
The silence part.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if this is actually going to grow into something bigger. Because like, if it doesn't, I'm still chatting with cool people that I like to have a conversation with and seeing where it goes. I like you taught me that people of course leave their house and people of course if they have an attractive lifestyle people want to be around people that are just having fun and having an attractive lifestyle
Yeah.
so you taught me that and uh, learning how to read books I mean that's very important and what else did I write down how to listen with intention by Patrick King
Yeah.
so I'll read that summary
And
or listen
the
to
proof
it.
is that I read 20% of that book, and Harry Potter I just read it in 2 days. So you have books that are meant to be enjoyed, and you have books that are meant to give you information.
Yeah
It's just like that. Like I don't enjoy books that give me information. It's like a lecture. Like, do you watch a YouTube? Do you watch lectures on Netflix, or do you watch movies that are meant to be enjoyed? You don't have lectures on Netflix or document. Okay, you have documentaries maybe, but it's not like, oh, I watch a documentary for fun. It's like, I want to learn something.
And if it's a shitty movie, you just turn off. You're like, no, I'm not wasting 2 hours of my life on this.
Yeah. It's a shitty documentary. You're like, yeah, maybe I'll watch it because there's some information in it.
Yeah, of course not.
Like, half of the book is shit, but I read it because some of it is kind of useful. Oh, that's the worst. I don't know why so many, especially American authors, so many of them feel like it's their need that the book needs to be at least 150 pages long or 200. And like 80% of the book is absolute
filler.
Yeah. And you read it and you're like, this is like page after page after page after page. It's just random talk. And I just absolutely hate it. I love books that are super short, super concise, that you can read in 1 or 2 days, and that you get all the information you have to know. If I could just send a message to all the authors of self-development books, is like, just make it short.
Let them know.
Yeah, like, please, let make it short. There is actually a book that is really short. Show Your Work, which I read in a day.
I don't have it.
It's super concise. It's super short, and there is no bullshit in it. And if everyone could write a book like this guy wrote it, the world would be a better place.
Speaking about shorter books, I have Willpower Doesn't Work by Benjamin Hardy. And I was listening to a podcast with him on Chris, I don't know, I forget his, Williamson. And he wrote a book called The Gain and the Gap, and it looked like the book is quite short. I was like, oh, that sounds like something I would like to buy, a short book. And the idea of it was, I thought this was amazing. So you have goals, and so consider yourself on a plane, and you can see the horizon, and you're always chasing the horizon. The horizon is also moving forward. So people that are goal chasers, they're never fully satisfied, and they're always chasing the next goal and the next goal. But you're chasing the gap. But the gain from when you're a child, wishing you would be a teenager, and then a teenager wishing you would be an adult, and then all of the things that came along, and you already have those things that you would die for. You're focusing on the gap instead of focusing on the gain. So a better way to be motivated is, well, look how far I came. That's proof that I can move forward instead of chasing what you don't have. Be appreciative of what you do have, and that's your proof that you can keep on moving forward. Something like that. So the book is called The Gap and the Gain. And I like that idea because when I was 16, 17, I was clueless with women. And now
clueless with what?
Women. I didn't know what to do. I was too shy, and I thought, okay, what if I'm a gentleman? And I was, I was so out of it. But now I feel natural. Now I feel very comfortable with women. I chat with them all the time. I chat with them or whatever, and no problem. And I would absolutely die for that. When I was 16, 17, I'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Having a threesome in Brazil with cocaine, whatever, oh my God. So, yeah, gap in the gain. And I like that idea.
That is such a cool point of view. That really is an amazing point of view. Like, how far you came instead of where you want to go. Like,
yeah. And that reminded me of a conversation with, what's his name? I have to read the book titles, and where is it? Ryan Holiday talked to.
Oh yeah.
A guy, and they're both millionaires, and he was talking to him like, how did it feel when you bought your first car, the Lamborghini? And he said, yeah, it felt like nothing. Like the first week he was like excited. He was 22. He bought his first Lamborghini. It cost like $200,000. And then the week later, he was looking at guys with the newer Lamborghini. And then after that, he bought a Rolls Royce. Like a week later, he was looking at guys with newer Rolls Royces. It was never like enough. That he described it like, you're like a bubble. and life is moving through you, and the point of it is to strengthen your bubble, because you're never in changing states. It's never like once you win, you're never always happy. There's never a change of state, but it's always you're in a bubble and life is moving through you. So nothing's ever enough. It's never going to be enough, and it's not a menacing. It's a sinister idea to say whatever you're going to get, you're never going to feel fulfilled in life, no matter what. So
Interesting.
I related it to that idea, the enough idea. When is enough?
That's a very interesting thing that even after a week, you're just like, yeah, cool, Lamborghini. But
I
this
mean, the
guy's
same
gonna
thing with
be
your
one.
phone. You know, when you buy a phone, you're like, you place it or whatever, and after a week, you just throw it on the bed.
Yeah, true. Oh, it's my new baby. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. 1 month
Yeah.
later, oh fuck, it fell. Yeah, whatever.
So
Yeah, but it's interesting because that's exactly a thought I had. I mean, very similar thought that I had this month. I was wondering, like, because I'm still young and still developing my career, and the thing is, when I'll have more money, more career success, and all that stuff, will
what
I?
is your career, by the way? Sorry to
I'm
interrupt you.
well.
What is your career, by the way? Sorry to interrupt your
I'm
thoughts.
in computer science
Right.
from sort of studies, but working on my private projects. So the thing is, I was wondering, like, will I be any happier, or will my happiness stay the same as it is right now? And I think that it will stay absolutely the same way as it is right now, because I don't feel any happier today than I was a year ago, when I was feeling more or less the same way, even though in this year I came a huge way, sort of. So I think to know how happy you will be in the future when you will have something is like the best indicator is how happy are you now. And I think that I won't be any happier because I have more money, or because there's something. Maybe I will be less happier because I, for example, lost a house or something like that. But if nothing goes wrong, then I guess the happiness stays the same. So I would maximize the happiness in the now so that you can enjoy happiness for much longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Strengthening your bubble,
Yeah,
being happy now and just going through it.
yeah.
I'm gonna send a link to that because I liked it. I placed a like on that video because I was like, damn, this
But
this just.
was it a video or was it one?
It was
One
a
holiday book.
short video from a podcast that Ryan Holiday had with another millionaire.
Oh, sweet! I'd love to watch it. Yeah, yeah.
I think this is. Let me watch it. Is this the one?
I'll see what Asim answered because he won't come. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it. Good. Share.
Yeah, whatever.
Link. And then I'll place it in the chat, but I'll also place it in our group chat.
Life-changing magic of having enough by daily story. Sweet.
That shit, I was like, oh my god, like, and you'll never feel enough. It's never going to be enough for you. Anything that you do, and I was like, oh my god, it made me feel sad.
Oh, Ryan Holiday was the one that wrote like "The Obstacle Is the Way" and all
yeah,
that.
I have that book, and Ego is the Enemy. I have that book, and Stillness is the Key. I have that book.
Did you read them?
Yeah.
Are they cool?
I didn't like Obstacle Is the Way. I think it was just like a list of everything that can motivate you, that motivates people. Just a list of everything. And I was like, okay, like cool.
Yeah.
The Stillness is the Key I liked. It was like you can enjoy painting and be still. You can be in a meditative state painting or chopping woods or doing something physically with your body or chilling with your friends and be in a meditative state, being still in your mind. So stillness doesn't necessarily have to be just meditating. You can form stillness by doing something with your body, like chilling with your friends in the car, listening to loud music, chopping wood, bricklaying. Like he was talking a lot about what's that guy in World War II on the British side? Who's that fat British guy during World War II? No, Churchill. And Churchill was doing everything that he loved. So he loved bricklaying. Everyone said that he was a pretty shitty bricklayer, but he was doing it because he loved it and he was feeling still. He loved painting. His paintings are shit, but he did it because he loved it. He was writing letters. He was doing anything that he liked just because he liked it, and that was helping him make those hard decisions when he had to during the war. I really like that.
Interesting. Like just doing things because you enjoy doing them, and it gives you sort of peace
That's
of
your
mind.
passion. Yeah, that's your passion. Later on, I'm realizing that was his passion. Like people are trying to find their passion. Like, what's my passion? It's usually in front of you. You're doing it already, or you're hiding from it because it doesn't make you money. Oh, what is my dream?
Yeah, but bricklaying is not cool.
Sorry?
Bricklaying is not cool.
No,
just kidding.
He enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, but
you ever watch those Asim bricklayers? You know, where they like they place the cement on the bricks and then they make it all nice and shit. And I don't know, I watch the random Facebook videos and I get bricklaying videos where they place the cement on the bricks and it makes it so nice and whatever. I don't know. Maybe he was doing that shit, but people have said his bricklaying sucks.
Yeah, depends on the person.
What was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna go back to. Oh, I want to go through this quickly, and then if I have the gap and the gain, some more advice from that thing. And I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Well, from my memory, I can talk about. He mentioned not how but who. So when he was trying to figure out what to do with life and how to get forward and whatever, he wasn't that successful. It was taking a long time. But when he met someone, he was already doing the same thing that he wanted to do in the future, and being around him and working with him, that propelled him into the future way faster than him doing it on his own. So instead of focusing on how to do it, focus on who can you do it with, and that will be faster than.
Man, that's so true.
I know I wrote it down because.
Man, when you do something with people, it's not like exponential growth. Like very often when you do something with others, you do something that you would never do yourself because you just didn't have the knowledge or the competences. Yeah. So being with other people and doing stuff together is not even exponential. It's like you do something you would have never done yourself. So I completely agree with the fact that doing something with other people is mind-blowing.
Benjamin Hardy, I'll write his name then.
Benjamin
Hardy. I don't know how to spell Benjamin. Fuck. Benjamin. Okay, Benjamin Hardy. Okay. Copy, paste. Can you see that? Private chat?
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, I should post this in the comments too. Oh my god, I forgot. Benjamin Hardy, and then the link.
Personally isn't permanent. Personality isn't more. Willpower doesn't work. Oh, this.
I have that book, man. That book is great.
Which one? Willpower doesn't work?
Yeah, man, absolutely. When I was in Brazil, right, I lost 7 or 9 kilograms. No, 9 kilograms in 7 days. I was eating a meal a day. So I arrived 69 kilograms. I ended up being 64. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 kilograms, sorry. 5 kilograms in 7 days. And so I was eating a meal a day because I was a bit nervous. But then I was finally eating 2 and 3 meals a day until I finally recuperated and I was okay with Brazil. And I was around people that worked out all the time. We all went out to the beach. We all went to the outdoor gym doing pull-ups, doing push-ups, doing dips and squats and all that stuff. Then we ran along the beach. Then we came home, had a coconut and watermelon, whatever, and that was our day. And I didn't feel like I needed any willpower to do that. But like back home, like right now, I have like ice cream in the fridge and whatever, all these foods and they're delicious. And, I don't have athletes living in my house. So I'm obviously gaining weight. But it's taken me willpower to do planks and do workouts. So right now I'm challenging my brother on planks and how long can we do our plank. I have the record 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Today I did 3 minutes and 4 seconds. It was very difficult. So I'm using willpower to work out, but there I didn't need it. And I was eating healthy because like I didn't have any unhealthy food around me. It was just I was eating watermelons every morning and then a coconut while I was working out. And then
Yeah.
I was having beers in the evening though with the friends, but that was it. And I was still 64 kilograms, shredded, looking amazing. I was like, fuck, that's great. So yeah, willpower doesn't work means making the road of least resistance the best road to take. So cutting away all the negative stuff. So I'm addicted to gaming. I deleted my games on Steam, I just uninstalled Steam, uninstalled whatever. I haven't played a game in like a few months. I did that. So I did that. First time I did it, I didn't game for a year and a half. Second time I did it was recently, and I haven't played it in months. So making the path of least resistance the best path. So that's the whole idea of the book.
True.
And how, he watched his friends lose his marriage because he's hanging around a loser friend that was like eating shitty food and gaming all day and all night. And he lost his marriage and lost his job because of that. Well, one of his friends. And noticing that other friends that live with like athletes, they also like gain muscle mass, also start working out, and just because they're around these types of people. So your environment shapes you. You can influence your environment, but a lot of your environment shapes you instead of like you working against it. How about being an environment that it's already the norm? And we're very adaptive creatures. We're like one of the most adaptive creatures on the planet. It takes us 9 months to adapt to an environment. 9 months. 18 years. 18 years.
But who, humans?
Humans, yeah. We have an 18-year dependency. That's how we're so adaptive. Creatures, like animals, they adapt like instantly in like a weeks, they're born and whatever, and they don't need to change their they're not dependent for long. They're only dependent for a while when they're receiving food and whatever, but it takes them a short amount of time to adapt to an environment. But humans have an 18-year adaptation period. We can't, like Jordan Peterson said, it's hard to what's the word I'm trying to find? We're not making kids work because they can't adapt to it or something like that. We're not. I'm losing my words. What I'm trying to say is we have one of the longest adaptation periods in all of the animal kingdom.
But adaptation in what way? Like you're thrown into a new environment and then you have to adapt to that new environment, or?
Yeah, we're very adaptive.
But how can we be very adaptive if it takes us 18 years?
Maybe because we're adaptive creatures, and I don't know. It's to do with like our brain, that we have a plastic brain, and that's whatever society is at the moment, we grow into it. So I forget the science of it, but the willpower doesn't work. Focuses around the fact that your environment changes you. But is your name Frumious Chipmunk?
What?
Who's have one of the longest maturation stages? Is your name Frumious Chipmunk, or is that someone else?
No, it's someone else. Oh, actually, cool. Sweet.
Right. I think that's what I was referring to. That. Yeah. I was trying to say.
Oh, maturation. Yeah. Okay. Now I got you.
Is it maturation? Maybe it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Frumious Chipmunk. Yeah. Thank you for that one.
It's weird because it says that no one's watching, and yet we have a guest. I guess that's pretty cool. So yeah, I have a real life example because in Brazil I was just working out constantly.
Yeah.
And right here I'm eating ice creams and whatever and cereals and shit and gaining weight.
Yeah, it's very true. You know what I actually did? Because I realized that the two things that drive me away from what I should be doing is having when I had Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram on my phone, as soon as I was got into sort of YouTube, I would get lost in it for 3 hours without any problem, because you just click, 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 and YouTube is just designed to hook you. Same with Facebook, same with Instagram. So what I did is that I uninstalled YouTube, uninstalled Facebook. I only have the Messenger app on my phone. And Instagram, actually, there is an app called Threads that is only Instagram messages. And I'm not using Instagram on my phone anymore. Unfortunately, Threads won't be supported apparently from 2022. I hope the app will still work though. But since I don't have those apps on my phone, I'm not wasting my time watching some random videos on YouTube or random videos on Facebook, because I don't know if you happen to have it that you just check something on Facebook for a minute and then you're lost for an hour and a half.
That's why I'm watching these cement videos, fucking bricklayers, laying cement in a beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And then you close your phone and you're like, what the fuck did I do with my time? And I've installed like an app tracker, and I watched like how much time was I using my phone. And there was a week where I used my phone, like one day I used it for 8 hours, but on average it was 6 hours of phone usage a day. And apparently I'm more or less on the average time usage of my phone, or below average. How the fuck can we use our phone for 6 hours on average and not even feel like we're using it for 6 hours? And this is pathetic.
Wild.
And the worst part is I'm glad I have some background in computer science, because I couldn't even delete YouTube from my phone using the phone. I had to delete it through my computers through some special tools, which is retarded. Like, you get an app pre-installed on your phone that you cannot even uninstall because
you can't uninstall Instagram. I tried. I'm not addicted to it, thankfully. I was never part of it, and thankfully I never even tried Twitter. So two apps that are known to be addicting, I never really got into it. But YouTube and Facebook absolutely suck my time so much.
Yeah, dude. And I'm absolutely. Do you have an iPhone or an Android phone?
Android.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you want to uninstall YouTube, then you won't have the option. You will only have the option to disable the app, which
that's why I have disabled. Yeah. It just it's in a folder somewhere. You can search it and it pops up instantly. So
So the people, like these big companies like Google or Facebook, they just want to suck your time, suck your attention, because your attention is their money. So
yeah, exactly. You're the product. And have you seen The Social Dilemma?
Oh yeah, that was a fucking great.
Right afterwards, I was just okay, fuck my phone, and I started messing with it. I made my phone black and white, so the colors don't saturate. I'm not addicted. Yeah, so you can make your phone.
Can you make it black and white?
You can make it monochrome. So
really,
it's in the factory settings somehow. I forget. There was multiple.
Wait, I need to find it. Monochrome.
Yeah. So you can do that in the settings, and then you can.
That's amazing.
Turn off notifications so you don't see the green light popping on your phone.
Yeah. This one I turned off a long time ago.
I didn't. I'm still addicted to it. I'm back to normal settings, but this is what I did.
Man, I'll try this monochrome stuff.
If you move the apps that you're used to clicking on to a different location, just by adding that friction, you can stop yourself from clicking on it, because it's muscle memory. And I noticed for the first week, I'd be clicking on, because I moved my YouTube to a different location, I clicked on like my camera like 20 times a day just because of muscle memory. I click, oh shit, camera. I wanted to click YouTube, and then I was like, okay, no YouTube. So
you know what I did?
To a different location, added that friction.
Like this is my home screen. Like I have absolutely nothing on my home screen. Like literally nothing, because whenever I have something, I'm just like, oh, how about I click on it? And and if it will be black and white, that will be absolutely awesome. And I did it after reading the book of Digital Minimalism. Minimalism. Let me check the title real quick if I'm not Minimalism. Yeah. Digital minimalism absolutely changed the way I perceived I perceived social media and phone usage. And yeah, I highly, highly recommend that book to anyone that wants to get rid of phone addiction or
All right.
any technology addiction, to be honest. How can I how can I comment here?
So there's comments and private chat. If you click into
Yeah.
comments, you can.
And I can comment in private chat, but I can not comment in comments.
No?
No, apparently not. Okay, if I send you the
Yeah. Maybe send it to me and then I'll place it in the
yeah,
comments.
Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport.
Oh, Cal Newport. I have one of his books. I remember that name. Deep Work by Cal Newport.
Yeah, it's his other most popular books.
Good.
I don't know
That's
if he
good.
has any more books, but really interesting one.
Cal. Sophie Leroy made a study about attention residue, and I think Cal Newport also cites that study where basically if you're doing one thing and then you switch to your phone for 2 seconds and you go back to that one thing, like 5 or 6% of your attention is still on that phone, even though you're not touching it. And then you go to your laptop and then you go back to your thing. Then like a 10% is on your laptop and you're still focused here. So it's attention residue. So that's why I think in Deep Work, I think he cited that study where just because you're going through multiple tabs and multiple things around your environment, that's what's sapping your focus, that attention residue. So that's why he always says stick to one thing at a time, So
Yeah, that is
I don't
so
always
true.
implement it because like I don't always remember it, but when I do, I'm like, oh, okay, no phone.
I've also heard like you get into sort of flow light state if you focus on one activity for more than 25 minutes. Like after 25 minutes your brain goes into like a hyper mode, like you really focus.
Right.
But if you're like 5 minutes into something, they're like, oh wait, I'll just check my phone real quick, and then you come back and then you're like, go make yourself a cup of coffee and all
Yeah.
that stuff. You just scatter your attention on everything and you never really get into that deep work or flow state like people say. Actually, Frumius Chipmunk, once again, you guys should
Recommend
do
in
a
the
list of
description. I will.
recommended
I will. I'm
things.
writing these down as I'm going, and
Oh,
after
sweet.
this live stream, I'm gonna add it into the description. I can't add anything into the description while we're doing it. But afterwards I will.
Sweet.
Yeah. We could do this again with Asim.
Yeah, he haven't answered me, to be
And
honest.
you said there's another guy, Jack.
Yeah, Jake. I asked him like
Jake.
on Friday because I talked to him on Friday, but he didn't seem interested. So, unfortunately,
No worries. No worries. Oh yeah, actually, until I forgot, the thing that I was working on.
they mentioned something similar. I'm reading the comment of Frumius Chipmunk. They mentioned something similar with podcasts. After 45 minutes, you get into a deeper state of conversation.
Solving dating. Okay,
Get
I'm
into
gonna send it
deeper.
to your messenger.
But 45 minutes of conversation of listening to a podcast.
Where are you? There you are. Okay. Okay, I sent you a PDF. Or let me just send you the Word document because I know that's correct. I don't know if maybe I changed some things in the Word document. That I didn't change in the PDF, so you can check the Word document. So this is the thing I've been working on for a while now. I can share my screen so everyone sees this.
Okay.
1 second. Okay, I hope I don't have any porn on my whatever. I'm joking. I don't have porn. I don't watch porn on my laptop.
Either or both. It was mentioned on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay, sure. Let's do it live.
Yeah, interesting. It's true that very often when you talk for a very, very long time, you go into that.
You do get into a flow state. Absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting.
Share screen.
So.
Okay. So can you see my Word document?
Yeah, I can.
Cool. So I was thinking of how do I make dating as authentic as possible and have it tailored to the person. And so I came up with 5 steps. So step 1 would go through age and what they want to achieve, because I think most people know what problems they have, and age, of course, like if you're a teenager, you'd have different problems than if you're in your 40s or 30s. And what they want to achieve, I think most people know their problems, their issues. Oh, I don't know how to talk to girls, or I don't know, you know, who is my one, like how do I find the one. uh, so the whole thing is about meeting the one, meeting your dream partner. And then
Mm-hmm.
secondly, going through strengths and weaknesses. So because of Mark Manson, I found out like what are your interests, and then like exploring that. Maybe your interest is jazz, like I talked about, and then that would help us find what type of partner you would want. Your attachment styles. So finding out if you're an anxious attachment style, if you're avoidant, or if you're secure, or if you're like a mix of two. Um, I was an anxious attachment style, so I needed love.
Does this come from the book like models?
No, this is a few things do, but this is like what I created from a bunch of things that I
Okay,
know that work for me.
yeah, sure. But these attachment styles, I've already heard it somewhere, but
Yeah, I haven't read the book Models. Maybe it's in it, maybe it's not. But
okay, I don't know. I just ask. I don't
VK
know.
talked about attachment styles once, so that's why I
Yeah,
thought
I've
it'd be
heard like in
relevant.
a podcast with someone.
And seducer type. So Robert Greene wrote the book Seduction, and there's 9 different seducers, and um, instead of listening to VK, instead of listening to Todd Valentine, why not find the type of seducer that's in you naturally? So there's 9 archetypal seducers that we all have, one of 9, and find out which seducer you are and working with your strengths. So instead of working
Mm-hmm.
with VK product, working with your product, working with your strengths, and then Jordan Peterson's future authoring program. So dating isn't
Mm-hmm.
everything. People that are getting into this think it is, but it's not. And finding out how dating can be part of the whole instead of all of it. Because like when you messaged me saying like you should probably not focus on dating as much as you are, when I was focused on like, oh, how am I going to fix my style, how am I going to do this and that, and I remember you told me like this isn't everything. So
Yeah.
doing Jordan Peterson's future authoring program, you can find out how dating can be part of it as the whole. So how can your partner be part of your whole life?
Mm-hmm.
um what life you want and partner you want to be. So yeah. So and also these things. This is from Mark Manson's. So there's health, finances, career, and social life, and much more. But like if you solve these 1, 2, 3, 4 things and not have to worry about it, then you won't be bitching about it. So uh, if your finances are low and you always complain about that shit, no one wants to be around someone who's complaining about their finances, career, or so lack of social life or lack of health.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get
Okay,
these
yeah.
solved by yourself and not have to worry about it, that's a lot of
Mhm.
stress relieved. So that's the first step is evaluation, figuring out the basics. The second step is self-love and habit. This one helped me out a lot. Self-love and habit. So when I started, I was just I did this. Learn yourself, make time for yourself consistently, support, encourage, do nice things for yourself, and make a commitment. So when I started, I looked up on YouTube, how do you love yourself? And this woman, I think she was a psychologist, went through all of the steps, and I summarized it. So when you learn about yourself, if you learn what do you do when you love someone, you want to learn everything about them. So that's exactly what you do with yourself. You learn your ticks, you learn your habits, everything about yourself, what you care about, what you think about money, about people, about relationships, about men, women, goals, everything. And then make time for yourself consistently. If you take yourself out for a meal one time, okay, I'll love myself. And if it's only once, you'll forget about it. I think this is the hardest part, making it consistent. Support, encourage, do nice things for yourself. That's exactly what you do with someone you love, and make a commitment that this is going to be a lifelong task. So it's
Mm.
not a one-time thing, but this is what That's it. That's what you're going to be doing. And this is from the book Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It by Kamal Ravikant. And it was summarized by the guy.
Is it like is it Naval Ravikant?
His brother Kamal Ravikant.
Oh, he's got a brother?
Yeah, his brother has white hair. Yeah, they're both the same, but
Really?
His brother's more spiritual. Yeah, and
because I've heard of. I think like I've watched the Naval Ravikant podcasts on Joe
yeah,
Rogan.
he's smart. I love him.
It
He's so
was.
good.
I think it for until now is my favorite podcast on Joe Rogan. To be honest.
Yeah,
or one of my favorites because I don't remember them all, but he was absolutely amazing.
so to the point. So his brother wrote, "Love yourself like your life depends on it," and I like this more. I like this. This worked for me, but I like this more. Mentally, I love myself. Repetition, intensity, and consistency. So you
Kaval
need that.
Ravikant, can you send that in the comments? Ravikant? Yeah, that would be sweet.
1 second, let me stop sharing. So
oh yeah, sure.
Love. Here we go. Love yourself like your life depends on it. Kamal Ravikant. And the book was summarized by the guy who wrote the book Atomic Habits. His name is. His name, but his name is actually James Clear. James Clear. Habits. Yeah, I remember his name Clear, and I thought it was a perfect name for a book like that. And he summarized the book, and I'm so thankful for him. And so let's go back to sharing. Share screen.
Can we make just a 1 minute break? I really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, no worries, man. I'll take a piss too.
Sweet.
Right,
so I'll be in a minute. 1 sec.
James Clear. Furious Chipmunk is also into personal development, I see. That's cool. Oh, or Frumius. I wonder who you are, Frumius Chipmunk. Because, I don't know. Do I know you? Do we know each other? It would be pretty cool if we know each other. Oh, sorry. There we go. Cool.
Sweet. Thank you.
This guy, Frumius Chipmunk, knew James Clear, so this guy is also into personal development.
James Clear.
Yeah, that's the guy who wrote Atomic Habits.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Oh, yeah, true. Thank you. I know Jordan Peterson, but not of Clear. Saw a video of yours a while ago. Oh, that's actually cool.
Okay, that's cool, man. Oh shit, really? So, like, you've never heard of me, and then you saw a video of mine a while ago, and that's wild, man. That's class, man. Imagine if this actually grows, and this actually becomes a bigger channel. I'd love the idea of like making money of it and then just splitting the money between the guys talking, you know, the live
Yeah.
guest. That would be so cool. Like if this is actually like a real thing, like Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, you know, he sometimes gives his money, the money he makes from the video, to the guest. So I
Oh,
thought,
really?
man, that's a great idea. Yeah. So
That's a
and
sweet thing.
since his videos make like 1 million views, whatever, it's a lot of money. It's
Yeah, that's a
crazy.
shitload of money.
It's crazy.
Count on it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
So
that would be awesome. Like a podcast like Joe Rogan, man, that would be that's a thing that I would love doing, like talking to smart people and listening to their lifelong thoughts.
because I'll do that just to do it anyway. Like I enjoy talking to people that are cool to talk to anyway. So even if it doesn't grow, I'm still enjoying my time. I'm gonna share the screen right now.
Yeah. Okay, here Freemius says like he earns like 3K per every million, but I believe it's just from
That's
YouTube
right.
ads or something.
Yeah,
Joe
YouTube.
Rogan became like the richest broadcaster in history because he
Yeah,
received $100 million
Spotify.
deal for 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, Spotify owns him.
What?
Spotify owns him now. Like yeah, he did the
Yeah,
deal with Spotify, so you have to watch Spotify videos to listen to all those crazy stories.
but you don't have Joe Rogan anymore on YouTube, or
You have short clips.
oh, short clips only, not the whole podcast. Okay.
Yeah, it sucks. So I
If
only
you've
know
got
like
Spotify,
if
then
there's a
not
guest
really.
on because of the short clips.
Yeah.
There we go. Entire screen. Boom, boom. Okay, so James Clear summarized it. And so I love myself, telling myself, I love myself, I love myself. And
Mhm.
repetition, of course. So you have to build deeper grooves than the grooves you built with, I'm not enough, or, you know, it's not worth it, or the time is not right. So you have to say this, you have to make a deeper groove of I love myself than the other grooves you built, the other pathways and bridges you built in your brain with the other stuff that you've been talking to yourself about. So with repetition, intensity, especially intensity, um, so emotional intensity, emotions are best with making memories and whatever, and consistency. You can't do it once. To saying I love myself, and then one day you'll catch yourself loving yourself. And I finally did recently. I caught myself loving myself, and I was like, man, this feels so good. And when I love myself, I'm willing to do uncomfortable shit. So recently, I gave out my CV to a bunch of jobs. I didn't enjoy that, but I did it because I love myself and I want a better future in France. So a
Mm.
meditation does is inhaling and then thinking I love myself and then exhaling. And then just like a Vipassana, if a thought comes, he doesn't stop it, he just lets it go. And he does a meditation for 7 minutes sitting at a wall. The whole point is being comfortable, and he listens to good music, music that he considers good, and he only does it for 7 minutes. And the question
Mm.
he has every day is, if I love myself truly and deeply, would I let myself experience this? So like my gaming habit, addiction, it's not a habit. I was like, if I truly love myself, would I keep on doing this? So I changed the question to suit the way I think. If I love myself,
Mm.
if I truly love myself, would I keep on doing this? The answer was no. So I deleted it immediately. Um,
Mm.
I sometimes avoid asking this question because the answer would be something I already know, and I
No.
go. But, but with gaming, it worked. With gaming, it worked, and sometimes eating healthily. If I love myself, would I eat this cookie or eat this ice cream? No, so I stopped. Um, so it's so simple, and he talks about the power of simplicity. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be complex. Simple. I love myself. Repetition, intensity, and consistency. That's it. You don't have to make a crazy technique out of it. So that really helped me because I have a need of giving love, and a lot of the relationships I got into and dating women was just because I love giving that love. I have a need to give love, and then I just gave it back to myself. If with self-love I was fulfilling that need of giving love, and then I wasn't as needy as I was previously. So thankfully I did it right before I met Nino, my girlfriend, and I
What's her
wasn't.
name?
Nino, it's a French fucking name. Ninon, Ninon, and pronounced
Nino. Okay, yeah.
And so I was less needy. I wasn't needing to give love anymore. Um, I still have that need, but it's definitely a lot less than it used to be. And then habit, when dating became a habit instead of like a thing that, oh, I have to, it's like a workout, you have to do it because you have to, there's no other way to meeting girls. It was difficult. I didn't enjoy meeting girls. I didn't enjoy going to Dublin and talking to a bunch of girls. But when it became a habit, when it was part of my personality, I I didn't require willpower to go to Dublin. I actually wished to go to Dublin. And so
But well,
James,
wait, dating. Like,
oh yeah, so when we already talked about this. So before that conversation, I thought meeting a lot of girls is pretty good. After this conversation, I'm realizing, okay, maybe not everywhere, maybe just in your in places where you feel most natural, or like in places of your interest. So let's say you're interested in jazz, you go to a jazz concert, so and meet people with similar values, and they will fall in love with you with who you are, but not instead of what you say and how you act. So
okay.
maybe making that a habit. So James Clear wrote a book, Atomic Habits, and this is its summary. So that this is how you make a habit, not its summary, but just the habit summary. This is how people form habits. So first they have to notice what that habit revolves around. So if you want to have a habit of taking medicine, you forget your medicine, you should place it where you can notice it. So in front of your desk instead of the kitchen. So
Yeah,
so
true.
first it's noticing. First, second, it's wanting. So that would be actually, sorry, that would be the second step, that you make good habits easier than the bad ones. So instead of having the pills maybe on a top shelf of your drawers, having it in front of you. Sorry, that was the second step. The third step is optimizing. So the first steps are the easiest to take, because we really hate starting shit. We really hate starting something that we know is going to be difficult but beneficial anyway, like starting studying, starting whatever, starting work. Like, but if we make the first 2 minutes of it as easy as possible, it gives us that momentum to keep on going. And once we start something, it's pretty easy to keep on
Mm,
going. And then the liking
I,
thing.
I don't know if
The,
it's easy to continue because, for example, okay, I'm interrupting you 1 second.
no, no, no. Carry on, man.
Uh, Fuck, I think like it's hard to start, but it's also hard to keep going. Maybe not as hard, but it's not easy. For example, with meditation, like I was doing 1 hour meditation a day for 2 months. Like it was super hard to start and it was hard to continue. And as soon as I stopped for one day, then the whole habit was gone. So I wonder, like,
Mm,
how can you sort of make it stick?
mm. Wait, so the meditation habit was, wait, I think I didn't get it. So you
Uh,
stopped because you skipped one day, was it?
Yeah,
And
I
then,
skipped one day and then I was like, because I was literally doing it every single day for an hour. Maybe I was too forceful, to be honest, because I was literally forcing myself to meditate an hour a day. Like, no matter how tired I was, even if it was like 3 in the morning, I was falling asleep, I was still like, okay, I'm gonna meditate 1 hour a day. And after
maybe
60 days, I skipped one meditation and then the whole thing fell apart. And I'm wondering if I
maybe
wasn't just too forceful with that.
I had the same mentality of my morning routine, because cold showers I don't enjoy. I like it and I don't like it at the same time, because like
Yeah.
no one likes to be in the cold, but then
But
afterwards you
afterwards,
feel
you
so
feel
good.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's amazing. And then once I did it for over a year, and once I stopped for like a day or two, I stopped. Like I couldn't get back into it.
But
So
were you doing like cold from the very beginning of the shower or just at the
yeah,
very end?
very
Dude, you
beginning,
should try taking a normal shower and when you're done, putting on the cold water.
cold on the shoulders.
Because I think that the effect must be very, very similar and it's just so much easier to do than being cold all the
I don't
time.
think the effect is similar. It definitely takes much more willpower doing it. Have you ever tried just turning on cold?
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Okay,
And
Doesn't it feel like, oh no, like, oh my
The
god?
first 30 second, 1 minute, yeah, but afterwards you get sort of used to it. Like your skin is so cold
Definitely.
that you don't even feel the cold anymore.
Yeah.
You,
And doing, I didn't realize, but actually only recently, only this year, I realized breathing during it, breathing deep, and then doing the Wim Hof breathing method, you actually feel warmer. I thought, okay, I thought this is just something you keep your mind off it.
yeah.
You do keep your mind off it, but you actually feel warmer. So I've been doing it whenever I feel cold outside. I do, I've been doing those breathing exercises, and I don't feel cold, and like my skin doesn't even feel cold, and I'm like, that's
Yeah.
fucking crazy, bro. So, and when you hear those stories of the monks placing those like wet towels around themselves in the mountains of Nepal, and the snow melts around them, and their sheets get dry, you're like, what the fuck? How does that work? So that's the it's it's breathing and conscious awareness of your intention. Like you have to choose, okay, I'm doing this, like this is my intention. So so it's technique and conscious awareness. So it works for me, and it's so simple. So I only realized this year. I've been doing it for inconsistently for 3 years, 2 to 3 years.
Cold showers.
Cold showers.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
Usually in the summer. In the winter I can't. It's way too cold. But in
You
the
know
summer
what's
I
funny? I don't do them in summer and I do them in winter. Because I did them, I took cold showers more or less consistently all the past year. And you know what I realized? I wasn't sick for a year. And right now I restarted taking cold showers like a month ago. Because I'm thinking, if for another year I'm not sick because I'm exposing myself to cold, and I was exposing myself to extreme cold last year. If I'm not sick for another year, then there is something to cold exposure that makes you immune to so much shit.
absolutely. When I
I
caught COVID in
ran
Brazil, sorry, carry on.
I ran last year. The two craziest shit I did. One was I ran a half marathon in just shorts, like I just had shorts and some sandals for running, so my chest was
Sandals. The
without a
fuck?
t-shirt, and it was snowing for like 10 kilometers. So, or like it would be like how many miles? Because you use miles or
No, I used
kilometers?
kilometers.
Oh, sweet. Sweet, good. And like for half of the run, it's snowing, and the snow is melting on your chest. So it was quite funny how it was so cold. One thing I learned from that experience is that you need food because you burn so many calories heating yourself up that
Yeah.
you just burn through all your energy in like what, half an
Yeah,
hour. So you need to eat food when you get exposed to cold for a long time. That
absolutely.
would be my big advice if you want to have cold exposure for longer periods of time.
No, I've done it. I one time twice actually. I tried 15 minutes of cold shower. I've heard maybe you can lose weight by that method because
Mm,
your body's trying to stay warm and you're burning a lot of calories. I only did it twice. I couldn't be consistent with it. And cold bath is a different game. A cold bath is a different game. It's
yeah,
like I was sitting into it, and laying down is the hardest. That's the I can't
yeah,
control my breath after a while. I
yeah.
recorded myself doing a cold bath in January 2021, and um, I I my focus, I was like, it's shrinking. So I had to focus on like a part of my uh, bath, and then I was just focused on that, so I wouldn't be breathing in inconsistently.
Mm,
And then I was doing the Wim Hof breathing method, and then on the fifth breath, you tense and you squeeze the air up into your head, and then you release. And that stopped me. Like I was shaking before I was doing that method, so I was doing that. But on the fifth breath, you press all of the air into your head, and then you relax, and
mm.
that stopped me shaking. And then like all I noticed was my skin was getting red and redder and redder. So I was seeing like myself in the video. And when you scroll through the video, you see like white skin and then just pure red skin at the very end. I think I did like 19 minutes of just a cold bath, and it was It was wild. It's so difficult. You can't even.
I actually want to go with some friends tomorrow because it's snowing today, and we want to go to a
Nice.
lake and do. In Polish, it's called morsowanie, which literally means to become a morse. do you call it this way? Oh shit, morse. Wait, let me just check the word in English. Morse would be
Walrus.
Walrus. Okay.
Walrus. Okay, yeah. Walrus.
In Polish, it's like walrusing is that when it's super cold outside, you go swimming in a super cold lake, and this is called walrusing. And we want to go tomorrow with some friends.
They don't feel it.
What?
They have a lot of fat, a lot of blubber, so they don't feel the cold. Well, maybe they do, but less. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, cold exposure, that's
Russians,
shit.
That's their tradition. You know, Russians one time of the year, all of the water. Well, Russian Orthodox, all of the water is considered saintly, and you would see those videos where people would line up in this like ice lake. They would cut a rectangle in a lake, and it's just all frozen over, and they would dunk in that lake and come out. So it's a tradition. We used to do it in the sea, but then after, I think maybe 4-5 years ago we stopped. We just started taking a bath. We started taking a cold bath, and then we just, if all water is holy, we just do a warm bath. Fuck that. But and it's very common in Eastern Europe to take a sauna and then run out and jump into a lake. I don't know, in Poland maybe it's also very common.
Yeah.
But, so like we've been doing it since like forever. You know, we always do it. And like in Western culture, this is becoming new. This is like, oh my god, cold exposure is helpful. True. When I caught COVID in Brazil, I was doing Wim Hof breathing methods, and then like my throat was all fucked up, so I was cleaning my throat with salt water 3 days, and I was fine. Also, I'm young, I'm healthy, and I was eating amazing food, getting vitamin D. That supposedly helps with COVID. Vitamin D, zinc, and vitamin C helps with COVID. I mean, that's the natural remedies.
So, how much time were you doing Wim Hof technique per day?
Twice a day.
Twice a day for like 3 sort of sets.
3 days, and that's it. I didn't feel anything after 3 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's it. And like, I can't deny that I had a lot of vitamin D from the sun. I had amazing foods. So that also, of course, played a role in it. But I was just doing Wim Hof and cleaning my throat with salt water for 3 days, and I was fine. And I wasn't dying from it. My roommates were really like sick from it.
Yeah.
So I was buying them food, and I caught it from them. But also because I'm younger, so I was fine.
Yeah.
It usually just affects older people and people with asthmatic or fat. It affects those people way more.
Yeah, true. Because I was sick for a week, more or less, 5 days, but it was just like, sick, regular sick. Apart of the fact that I completely lost taste and smell, like that was the funny part. You didn't get that?
No, I got some Brazilian variant that wasn't like that. No. So I got lucky. And I heard Israel did a study that your antibodies are 6 to 13 times better than that of a COVID patient if you got natural immunity. So your natural immunity is 6 to 13 times better if you caught COVID instead of if you took the vaccine. Israel did a study with like thousands of patients or something like that.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So,
I mean, I've got a shitload of friends that got sick, even though they were vaccinated.
Yeah, us too. Like that's why Ireland's closing down. Ireland's going on lockdown. We're 93% vaccinated. We're like one of the most vaccinated countries on the planet. We're closing down because the vaccinated are getting sick.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
And then this Omicron variant is coming out. Oh, but also, we're developing a new vaccine in 100 days, so we're gonna get it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And also, 2 families that we know aborted their babies after they took the vaccine. So one woman was 5 months pregnant, and another woman, it's a friend of a family, aborted. She just got pregnant, a couple of weeks pregnant, and she aborted her child after she took the vaccine. So
like a miscarriage.
Miscarriage, yeah, fucked up. Miscarried.
That's
So
fucked up.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I've
a risk
also
if you
heard of
take
a
it,
guy
but
that.
it's a risk if you don't. It's weird.
Yeah,
Actually, my
yeah.
granny saved a guy's life yesterday. He was walking from a shop and he just fell. And my granny asked, like, "Are you drunk? Like, do you need some help?" And he said, "No, he didn't drink." And his legs just stopped working. The previous day he took the vaccine. So my granny's in Latvia and it's snowed in it's super cold over there. And his legs just stopped working. So he started crawling back and he didn't have any gloves. So my granny was like, "Yo, are you okay?" And he's like, "No, my legs don't work anymore." And then she called the ambulance, and the ambulance she called the hospital, and the hospital was like, "Did you check? Does he have COVID?" She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? The guy can't walk. Like, get the ambulance right now." And then yeah, she found out that he took the vaccine the day before, and now he can't
Mm.
walk. Weird, weird shit.
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. You caught COVID, didn't you?
Well,
You caught it for 5 days.
yeah, like a year ago, more than a year ago, before I started doing the cold showers.
Yeah, right. Cold showers. I might get started talking about it. I enjoy it. It's not too difficult. Where it's like, oh no, like I hate it. It's not too difficult, and it's difficult at the same time. It's like it's nice.
Dude,
It's
I really recommend taking a normal shower, and when you're done, just cold water for a minute.
right.
Then you feel very very similar.
I started with that actually, and then I moved to cold, just pure cold. I started
Just pure
because like
cold.
yeah, I started with like 2 seconds of cold after a hot shower, and then 3 seconds, then 10 seconds, 30 seconds.
But I think even Wim Hof says that he's taking first a hot shower and then at the end he's
Is
like
he?
cold. Or I
We
heard someone say it, so maybe it's just bullshit what I'm saying, but I don't know.
maybe he is. I've heard him say he doesn't enjoy the cold. People say, "Do you enjoy the cold?" He says, "No, I don't enjoy it," but he does it because he needs to. And
I like pain. I don't enjoy cold, but I like pain.
uh, he, I love this quote. He says, "You need to die once a day to realize what living is about." So he does a
Mm.
7 minute plank every day, and he takes a cold bath every day. And I really understand that because have you ever tried mushrooms?
No.
Right. Well, my first experience was this October, and I had a bad trip in the beginning because I took more than I should have, and I got punished because of that. I knew why. Like I was feeling like sick, and to me, feeling like vomiting feels like dying, and I know, oh, okay, because I took more mushrooms than I should have, and I the more I resisted that pain, the more it engulfed me, and when I was trying to stay in the pain to get away from it, it engulfed me even more. So there was no
Mm.
escaping it. But when I was sitting with that pain, it left. It didn't leave immediately,
Mm.
but it was a slow transition of it leaving, and I wasn't waiting for it to leave. So when I was actually
Mm.
accepting that pain, it was slowly leaving. And then I joined my brother that also took mushrooms and his wife and my sister that only smoked weed. And because I was in the bathroom, when I finally joined them, I was finally actually part of the group, part of the whole wild experience instead of like dying from pain. So and and when I was with them, I realized I would have this. I'm totally able to accept that pain that I just had, just to have this more often, just to be
Mm.
with my family more often and have a lovely experience together. So I understand after that experience, I understood when he said you have to die every day to realize what living is all about. And when I was when I felt like I was dying, I was like, uh, I was happy that I was with my family, that I can hear them having a good time in the living room. And when they asked me if I'm okay, I said yes. My body was like dying, but my mind was happy
Mm.
because they're having a good time. So I realized there's a difference between pain and your psyche, because pain is only physical, and my mind and body shifted into two.
Yeah.
So I was okay mentally and physically. I was suffering, but I was totally okay with that because they're having a good time. And if I and the music changed sadly, so we're listening to John Hopkins' So John Hopkins is a university, and John Hopkins released a song that helps you go on that journey with music along. And the music changed to a different song that seemed more techno, and that shit was ruining my experience. I was like, can you please change the song? But then when the song came back to normal, when I was in the bathroom, I was, feeling a bit better. So I realized during that pain, that's what makes love so much special. It's necessary. Like, we're all gonna die. It's terrible. Life is suffering. Like Jordan Peterson says it. But like, that's what makes love so much special. That's what makes that unity between families and friends that much more special, because we're all gonna die and we're all just flying on this rock together. And I enjoyed our differences. Like, my sister's different than me. My brother's different than me. Suzanne, his wife, is different than me. And I like how we're different. And it's pretty cool. So, yeah, it was a wild experience. And after that experience, I noticed that I'm more empathetic. I'm slightly more courageous. I'm less afraid of death. Not in the sense of, I'll just kill myself. Like, I'm not afraid of it. But it's more like, if I live a good life, and then die, that's a good life to live. But if I live a meandering sort of okay, good and not good at one time, it's not, and I die then, that's not a good life to live. So if I live a good but short life, that's totally okay. And Seneca is a Stoic philosopher. He said, a good play is judged not by the length of it, but by the quality of the acting. So yeah, I finally understood.
That's a really
So yeah,
that's a really cool analogy.
Wim Hof goes through that pain, and then he's the happiest man ever. He's so loud and so happy all the time.
The thing that you said, like, you detach yourself from pain, it's the exact same thing I experienced at the Vipassana. That's why I said in the very beginning of the call, like, pain is a must at the Vipassana, because you learn through it. And you've actually learned that pain is just a sensation.
Yeah, it's physical.
Pain, actually, the thing I realized when I was doing that 10-day meditation camp was that pain is just a label you give to a sensation. So when you're taking an ice bath, you say it's painful, but the reality is that your skin is contracting, your blood is flowing out of your hands and your feet, and you have all those physical things that happen, and all this becomes what you call pain. But when you remove sort of the naming pain, it's just something that happens. Your skin contracts, you're becoming red, it's tingling, like, it's just this. It's just that you give a label to something that you say is unpleasant. But as soon as you remove it, you realize it's just the same thing as feeling hot. Like, feeling cold is a different sensation than feeling hot. But it's just how you interpret it that makes the whole difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, do you ever notice sometimes, this only happened to me a few times in my life, but sometimes you turn on the cold water and you think it's hot. It's a very similar sensation. And then you're like, oh shit, it's actually cold. Similar sensation. I'd rather have cold water than hot water, because, like, I don't know about you, I love cold water on my face. But hot water on my face is so uncomfortable. I hate it. And like, I hate like when it gets on my eyes and shit. Oh my god! But cold water is just refreshing. I love it.
I like both. Depends on the day.
And I don't know. Every single time I get cold water on my face, if it's from a shower, it takes my breath away. Like it physically takes my breath away. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And that very sensation of the I can't breathe. You put a label on it, like, it's painful because I can't breathe. But it's just a label, once again. Like, this is what Vipassana taught me the first time I went there.
True. I'm actually doing the planking, because you get that pain really quickly. And then just sitting through that pain is what I'm practicing. Like David Goggins says, like, the actual practice starts when your brain says, let's not do this, quit, abort, that's when the
David
actual
Goggins.
game begins. Yeah. That's when you're at the 40%. So, yeah, I love David Goggins. I was listening to him yesterday, so that's why I remembered. But
Fuck. I just realized like last week I was doing a workout and was with the planks. I was a bit weak.
How long do you think you can do a plank? If your stomach is not full, because with a full stomach you actually just can't. With an empty stomach, how long do you think you can do a plank?
Good proper technique, like without arching my back. I don't know. I actually don't know, but I'd say like 2 minutes. But
That's pretty
yeah,
good. 2 minutes is pretty good.
and I say it's
My girlfriend
optimistic.
can do 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
What?
So, my girlfriend can do 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and she's skinny as a bone. She is
Yeah,
literally just
but the thing is to really hold the good technique because it's so easy to continue a
Yeah,
plank.
I don't arch my back. Yeah, my only rule is like don't touch the ground. So if my knees kind of sag, I'm okay with that. But I noticed that actually, if you keep your knees as straight as possible, that really helps. It actually like you get more time. Like
Yeah.
you feel that weight if your knees start to sag. So I do the good technique.
Okay, for me, like proper technique is like nicely contracting your glutes. Obviously, not arching your back and holding it in a very very solid position and not starting, because very often you also like start to retract. And
Yeah.
your head sink, and then
Yeah.
okay. Instead of being like nicely like in that position, you start looking more like that. And
Right. No, I my shoulders definitely sag. Absolutely. So
yeah, you should really try to push them out.
Fuck, with proper form, I don't know how long I can do it then.
You're probably holding
contract my
like
glutes.
a quarter of the time of what you were holding, but you realize that it's as hard or not harder than holding it for 3 minutes. And right now that I think about it, I don't even think I could do it for 2 minutes. I think a minute and a half would be like, yeah, but like a proper technique.
I start shaking at a minute and a half, but the shaking is fine. Like,
Yeah,
I can sit through it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm realizing that we're on like almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
So,
maybe we should
can wrap
finish it.
this up and have a live stream with Asim.
Asim, yeah.
Asim. Later on.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to have a live stream with the lecturer again after this right now because she had to postpone from yesterday to today because she was with her family.
Now we're having another one right after this one.
Right after this one. So I'm going to have some
Holy
food.
crap, dude.
I love to talk. So I found what's most consistent with me is I'm always horny. I love to talk. I'm always making something and I always think. I'm always thinking about stuff. So I noticed that instead of like this, I don't know why, but like it just made a lot of sense. Why am I making these bullshit YouTube videos if I enjoyed this much better? And this is consistent with what I've been doing for like all of my life. So I mean, this works. So why not do this?
Yeah.
And I'm much more happy. If this even doesn't become a big channel, I'm still enjoying my time instead of making like those YouTube videos for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, dude, it's so true that it's the first stream or podcast or however you want to call it that I've been to. It's so much more fun than doing a video.
Yeah, absolutely. And with a video, man, I'd be so anxious. I would be like, oh, no, let's cut that. Oh, no, it didn't work that time. Oh, my voice. So, yeah.
Yeah, and also the thing is, very often you cut out a lot of the information in a video. Like, because in the video, you want to be the most concise as possible. And very often, like, you have some small details that maybe make the video too long, and then people would their attention span would falter and they would leave the video. So you need to keep it as concise as possible. Yeah. But often just giving those 10% more information that take a bit of time of explaining really helps to drive the point home.
And what's your channel? You said you have 5 videos. What's your channel? I can post it in the comments.
I'll send it to you private.
You don't want to have it in the comments?
I don't know, dude.
Okay. I don't know. No, I don't.
I mean, hmm. I
It's
mean,
fun, man.
I think the videos are pretty good, to be honest. But when I watch them, I don't feel like it's me. You know what I mean?
I
You,
think because you cut yourself out of the video. That's why this is natural. This is you. But when you're
mm,
making it concise, you're cutting yourself out of it. You're just giving information. It's not you because you're cutting yourself out of it. I think
yeah,
that's how I felt.
true,
And this is
true.
me. I'm just chatting.
But do you still have your old videos?
Yeah, I have all of them. I should delete them or hide them, but then I thought, well, you can see my clear progression how I started my
Yeah,
YouTube
true,
channel
true.
and my I thought I'll just keep it in just because of that progression. Like it would
Okay,
look
yeah,
nicer
true.
if it was like amazing from the beginning. It would look much nicer, but I was like, no, I'll keep it in.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's the exact same thing as I thought. I still have those videos, but yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's me
Mm.
when I watch it. So
Send me your channel in private. I'm not going to share it.
of course, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe we'll share it. Yeah, we'll
Oh,
see.
on
We'll see.
Messenger or on this private chat?
Mess. Oh, we can send it on Messenger.
Cool.
But yeah, I'll send it to you when we're done. And yeah,
Cool. All right, we can end it right now. Well, it was great having you on this channel.
man, that was a fun conversation. Well, it's
Yeah,
cool to see another. Because how old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20. It's cool to
Yeah.
see like another young guy trying to figure life out. To be honest.